Listen to the people. Listen to humanity. Listen to the parrot. Parrot TV. Parrot TV. Parrot TV. Parrot TV. Parrot TV.
Hi, I am Dustin Pickering from Parrot Literary Corner. You know me, your noble and honest host, and I've got exciting news for you. Last anthology, Series 1, The Literary Parrot, did such a great job. We want to continue to provide this community service to our viewers and to our contributors to the program. So please get up and get a copy immediately. You know, if you're in this book, you want to get a copy. If you're not in the book, you want to get a copy and see what we're doing. You want to be excited with us. We want you on this program, and we hope to see you sometime soon on The Literary Parrot. You have to get your hands on this copy. It's amazing. It's an absolutely beautiful anthology meant just for you. Our past guests have been invited back to contribute yet again to this Series 2. We do this quarterly anthology. We will be doing this after our 200 episode milestone. As of this last quarter, we reached 200 episodes, and past that, get up and get a copy immediately. This is the only TV show on earth for creative writers, and our guests are amazing. They're also community activists building from the ground up. This program is for everybody out there who is a creative mind. Order several copies if you can and donate to local libraries. Give them to your friends, cousins, fans, supporters, anybody that you think loves poetry. Do you know that there is a publishing company that wants to make life easier for you as a writer? This publishing company is called World Inkers Printing and Publishing. We publish in all different languages, and we're looking for writers of all genres, all formats. We're looking for scholars, ghostwriters, playwrights, poets, short fiction, novelists, you name it. We're looking for anybody who is interested in writing and the craft of writing to be in touch with us. You can reach us at info.worldinkers@gmail.com. With World Inkers Printing and Publishing, you do not require a lot of money to publish with us. Contact us today at info.worldinkers@gmail.com. Become a winner with other authors at World Inkers Printing and Publishing. Give us a shot. We will surely finish you. Welcome to World Inkers Network, and today I am Dustin Pickering, your noble and honest host, and it's episode number 260, so congratulations to us for reaching that milestone again, another episode and every day. Today we have Michela Zanarella, was born in Cittadella in 1980. Since 2007, she lives and works in Rome. She has published 17 books. In the United States, the collection translated by Leanne Hopp, Meditations in the Feminine, published by Bordighera Press in 2018, has been published in English. Journalist, author of fiction books and text for the theater. She is editor of Periodico Italiano magazine and Laici.it. Her poems have been translated into English, French, Arabic, Spanish, Romanian, Serbian, Greek, Portuguese, Hindi, Chinese, and Japanese. She is one of the 8 co-authors of Federico Moccacci's novel La Ragazza de Romana Nord, published by SEM. Thanks for joining us today, Michela. How are you today?
Thank you, Dustin, for the invitation. I'm so honored to be here in your space in Parrot TV.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. And my first question for you will be, tell us a little bit about your book, Recovery of the Essentials. How do you use language to explore your subject matter?
My writing is based a lot on the search for images and fluidity of language. So I try to explore the cosmos, focusing on the elements of nature I believe are essential to reach the invisible. In this case, the book is a real recovery of lost poems that I have to thank my friends, my Italian friends, because they helped me to save a good part of my unpublished work. So I have to thank Felicia Bonomo, Giovanni Battista Quinto, Fiorella Capelli, and Corrado Solari, my friends, that helped me in this recovery, a very recovery of text. So I have also to thank the people who edited the preface and the afterface. Dante Maffia is a great name of the Italian contemporary poetry, and also Anna Santoliquido is the president of cultural international movement Donne e Poesia, Woman and Poetry. So I thank them for this work.
Wonderful. So what role does storytelling play in your collection, and how do your poems convey mystery?
The characteristics of my poems is the simplicity. I try to use it as a tool for reflection and also meditation on the meaning of existence. The reader so therefore undertake a path of exploration and knowledge. The mystery for me is contained in words, and so words become places to access, pass to cross with sound listening.
Interesting. That's fascinating. I do think words can convey mystery and are mysterious in their own right. So
Yes.
who are your strongest poetic influences? What are you reading today?
I love so much the classic of Italian poetry because I think there are fundamental. I read Leopardi, Giovanni Pascoli, Giuseppe Ungaretti, Pierpaolo Pasolini, because I live now in the street when Pierpaolo Pasolini also in the past live. So it's for me a great opportunity. So I love so much the poems of Pierpaolo and also the film because he's also a good. He make a lot of films in Italy, but he's loved in all the world. I read a lot also of contemporary poetry. So I think it's important to read before to dedicate to the writing. Read is fundamental. My poet of reference is Emily Dickinson because she managed to lead me far away with her language, so mysterious and effective. Is for me the best.
I'm just curious, do you read the Dickinson in Italian, or have you tried in English to read her poetry?
I try to read also in English, but in Italian, yes.
Excellent. I wonder what that would look like. I'm accustomed to the English. I'm most familiar with of course, the American English versions. That must be interesting to read in different languages. So, how can poetry, do you think, be a courageous art?
It's a question, a very difficult question. Poetry is a courageous art because it requires commitments, perseverance, resistance. Test in a time when little attention is paid to emotion. So society for me is too busy running, distracted from business. Poetry is something refined, far from the current system. I have the consideration of poetry for an art, special art, an art for the heart.
Mm-hmm. It's definitely something. It comes straight out of the person and then their emotional capacities, and it can convey a lot of things that a lot of regular activities don't. I mean, I think it's the basis of society and culture.
Yes.
And it doesn't it doesn't get a lot of attention. It's not market valued. It doesn't have a price tag on it, but I think it can definitely be something powerful, and it's something unusual. And
Yes,
so I'm curious. Yeah, absolutely. It's a very deep in the spirit kind of thing. And what way do you think language itself, especially through poetry, can convey the hidden aspects of nature?
Languages feeds on words, and the words must flow, but give an emotion, a shake, also disarm the reader. I believe the poetry should be nourished by short lines, but powerful in content. So I think is essential to write shortly, in short lines, but poetry has to give an emotion. Is is essential.
It can move people in a direction. Like when you're
Yes.
reading a poem, it really can convey something to you on a level that's deeper than just what it's necessarily saying on the surface.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
It's a remarkable thing that poetry can do, and I'm just curious how people can avoid it so much. It seems like I don't know about in Italy, but in America, it seems like even though it's becoming popular in some places and some people like it to read it, it's not very popular in general. It seems, but it's very powerful, and I think the power is in the language, and and publishing. It seems like publishing poetry is really risky for the publisher because it doesn't make a lot of money,
Yes.
and so maybe as a poet, it's hard to develop relationships with publishers. So I'm curious, how did you discover your publisher, your current publisher, in Interno Libre, and
Yes.
how has it been working with them on your book, the Recovery of the Essentials?
Interno Libri was born from the editorial project Interno Editoria, directed by Andrea Cati, and is a young publisher, but he worked very, very good. I published with him in 2017, and then I found myself very happy to work with them because they put care and precision in the work of the book. The book is followed step by step in agreement between the author and the publisher. And once published, there is a targeted promotion. So is for me is important.
That's wonderful. It's good to find a publisher that's friendly to your work and is willing to work with you on developing it and promoting it. And I think it's hard to find sometimes a publisher that's you're compatible with in that way. And I've personally, in my search for publication, it's especially when you're looking for individual poems and journals to publish in, it can be tricky because they look for certain things. They want at a certain time, a certain like 3-month period, we need poems by about bicycles.
Yes.
It's like it's hard to get across, like, get into a journal that's so narrow a focus and so narrow a time slot. And I think that's it's difficult sometimes to find a really good publisher that believes in what you're doing. So maybe you could tell us a little bit about some of your other work, your other books, and how you in your relationships, how they developed with publishers through the book.
Yes, I have published 70 books of poetry. So I start in 2006 with Credo, my first publication. Then in 2009 I published Risvegli. is another poetry collection. Then in 2009, Convivendo con le nuvole is a book of short story, so not poetry. Then I publish also, I have all the title, so Meditazioni al femminile, that is become also a bilingual collection, Italian-English, with Bordighera Press in 2018. Because I have met an American translator, Lynn Hope, from the Boston University, that searched to translate my book, and she meet also me in Italy. She come in Italy to meet me, and we have worked together for this publication. Is for me very wonderful, this experience. So I thank also Lynn, but also the editor, the Bordighera Press, because he chose myself in the catalog.
Wonderful. So we're going to take a brief break at World Inkers Network, and we'll be right back with some more of Michela's work. Thanks for watching out there, you guys. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe to our station. And if you're watching on Facebook, leave some comments, some questions.
Guido, io vorrei che tu e l'Apui Dio, di Dante Alighieri. Guido, io vorrei che tu e l'Apui Dio fossimo presi per incantamento e messi in un vasel, ch'ad ogni vento per mare andasse al voler vostro e mio. Sì che fortuna o d'altro tempo io non ci potesse dare impedimento, anzi, vivendo sempre in un talento, di stare insieme crescesse il disio. E monna Vanna e monna Lagia poi, con quella che sul numer delle 30, con noi ponesse il buono incantatore. E quivi ragionar sempre d'amore, e ciascuna di lor fosse contenta, sì come i credo che saremmo noi.
Welcome back to World Inkers Network. Today we have Michela Zanarella. She's an Italian poet, and she's going to talk a little bit about Italian poetry with us. And I'm going to right now read some of her poetry from Recovery of the Essentials in English. So you guys can get a taste of her work, her literature in English. This is from Recovery of the Essential. There is a secret language that one learns by eavesdropping at the foot of the grass. Underground there is a crowd of shadows buried, narrow dews who want to return, climbs up the roots, the grammar of poppies, pauses as I breathe between the lips the dream of blooming. The sun varies his voice according to the light, gives the word to silence, and is a blood petal that dares to set before evening. Wow, beautiful. And then I'll read another one. Let the sun take possession of our gazes. We need the state of light that occurs at dawn and the purest hour. Keep my heart like an ampule to collect clear water at the spring. Let's lend ourselves again to life and its sacredness. This is love. To immerse yourself united in the will of time, from wrists to ankles in an evergreen dream. Wow. One more. The air is silent in the summer days, the pain that has kept us still in the heat of a sun that lingers among the mute petals of the bluebells with the pain, mine, a weight that makes time, unnerves is not betrayal. Who knows what life still asks of me? Perhaps that I love the breath more strongly, holding the tips of courage, that I hold the present and scatter light in abundance among the thoughts. It is in the incandescence of silence that we are saved. Wow. Excellent. Beautiful work. Would you like to read some of your work in Italian for us?
Yes. Yes, I try to read some poems of the book in Italian. Specchiarsi nell'imperfezione. Specchiarsi nell'imperfezione. Amare le fragilità costanti, le ombre sul nascere, senza la pretesa di possedere la zolla, una parte di cielo, l'altro ramo di sé, lasciato alle spalle, l'assoluzione, guardarsi dentro e portare gli occhi lontano, oltre i comuni confini, ammettere che è umano scordare da dove proviene la luce. È più facile allinearsi a una luna recisa e perdersi negli intrighi del buio, ma c'è un lato chiaro anche nella notte. È proprio nel luogo più cupo, la radice di una stella. L'aldilà ha tutto il sole delle estati interrotte. L'opaca memoria è diventata faro tra gli scogli. Another one.
Thank you.
Le care stanze. Il tempo ci darà strada per la memoria, avvertirà il corpo che le estati sono passate altrove. Un giorno chiuderemo le intenzioni migliori in uno sguardo. Manterranno la postura del sogno gli occhi. Ad un tratto ci troveremo chini a visitare la vita già trascorsa, disarmati dalla voce di un silenzio che parla a senza. Cercheremo le figure amate, l'antica forma delle cose. La luce che possente ha la stessa generosità di un cielo che non ha confine. E sapremo che le stelle le avevamo nel palmo di una mano, proprio tra le età, le care stanze che abbiamo conosciuto. Another one, I try to read in English from my book Meditation in the Family, if you want.
Okay.
I
Love
try.
to hear
I try. Sorry for my bad English.
Quite all right. It's nice to hear the Italian. You know, it's a really eloquent language.
Yes.
It's enjoyable to hear.
Yes, I read then in Italian and then the translation in English.
Okay.
E restiamo come vele. Davanti a noi il cielo accantona nuvole e lontananza. soli di ghiaccio e panni rossi. La vita è lì, che ci scorre negli occhi e nelle vene, tra grossi dubbi e silenzi. Suonano i passi delle rughe che scrivono il tempo, dentro e fuori le carni. Ci avvolge la notte, la furia del giorno, una terra materna ed un mare che sfila sussurri dondolante. E restiamo come vele ad aspettare che si spogli un sorriso all'orizzonte. The translation in English. And we remain like sails. In front of us, the sky sets aside clouds and distance, only of ice and red lines. The life is there that passes us in the eyes, in the veins, between huge doubts and silence. They sound the steps in the wrinkles that they write, the time inside that outside the flesh. It winds up the night for us, and fury of the day, a maternal hurt, and a sea that extracts oscillation whisper. And we remain like sails, waiting when a smile undresses on the horizons.
Excellent. I have one more of yours here to read on the Eterno Libre site, the website.
Yes.
In the silence, infinite roads were hidden. No one had ever touched it with the eyes of those who stay for days to look with the mind at a passage of pollen on the ground. Out there were also melted our returns in the heart that we did not know lasted as long as the rising of the moon into the night. We entered perhaps for the first time beyond something we had forgotten. A sudden sun woke us up and brought us closer to the beginning of the sky. Wow. I love it.
Thank you, Dustin.
It looks really good in English. I don't know the Italian. I had it translated on the website.
Yes.
I like it a lot. Very wonderful, beautiful. So I have one final question for you, and then we can go to the end of the interview. What do you look for as an editor in the journals that you have, and you do editing work as well? So I was curious, when you're editing, is there a specific style or a kind of thing that appeals to you mostly? Yes. Or
I try to make research of words, so I work a lot of images and the sounds of words, the rhythm is for me important. Also clarity and to have a method of writing. So I try to study a lot before to end the poem. But for me, it's essential enter in a sort of meditation when I write, because for me it's necessary to stay in silence, to enter in another dimension, so in another situation of in a contact with nature elements. So is the elements of nature for me important.
Excellent. So other than writing poetry and reading poetry, what else do you like to do in your spare time?
In my free time, I go to walk a lot because in the nature, because I have to observe also all around me is essential to write, and I read a lot of books every day. So reading and also study is important, and I like also to try new experience of discover myself. So I make a sort of training meditation in the nature.
Do Italians appreciate poetry, or is it like in the United States where it's sort of a it's kind of a bottom art, you know?
I think poetry is an important uh, is important, but we have a lot not so much reader. But all genre are not Italian are not good reader.
Mhm.
But I have an hope for the future because I find a lot of young people that read poetry, so it's important for me. Is a light for the next generation.
There are a lot of younger people reading in the United States too, so I think, and they tend to be more open minded. I find, you know, a lot of younger people, they tend to be more tolerant and respectful of people and differences of opinion and differences in taste, whatever it is. So I think poetry cultivates people. It's a
Yes,
very
there are a lot of young poets in Italy, very, very talented poet. So there are also a lot of groups, community that we have a lot of sites in also and cultural events is
Mhm.
important to promote in every part of possible because the space for poetry is not this is not so much promote. So we have the opportunity to create a community, and also myself, I make a lot of events for young people.
Wonderful. Just keep doing what you're doing. And I wondered if I were to travel to Italy, what are some of the beautiful sights that I would want to see while I was there?
The site, my site. Do you
No,
mean my
not
site?
tourist. Like if I was coming to Italy as a tourist, like if I were to come visit your country, Italy,
Ah, yes.
what are some places I would visit to be to experience the countryside or the beauty of Italy?
There are a lot of a lot of monuments to visit, but in Roma is wonderful because we have the Colosseo is fantastic. Also for Imperiali, the Vatican. So city is for me important. But I'm not. I live in Rome 10 years,
Hmm.
but I'm not from Rome. I'm born in Padua, is near Venice. So I in the northeast Italy, and
Okay,
also my town is very beautiful to visit.
wonderful. So, do you have a final message you'd like to say to the audience in conclusion of the program?
Yes, I want to thank you, all
You,
you,
too.
Dustin, for
Hmm.
for this big opportunity to be here this evening, and also I thank the all the staff of Parrot TV, and I thank also my press agent Simona Mirabello that give
Hmm.
me the opportunity to enter in contact with you and all the people that read me. And I thank my English translator for Lynn Hope for the work we have made in the past. And I
Hmm.
hope to meet other readers for all around the world. Is my my thing is that poetry is the light of the life, so essential for the humanity.
Absolutely. That's wonderful to say. I think, it's a very important art, and we should participate in it. And I believe in poetry, and I believe in literature as a form of not just, in protest, but in signifying our humanity and bringing to light concerns we have, and putting them on the page, is both on a personal level as well as a society. We can measure ourselves through literature and literary activity that we do. We can get a good idea historically from, say, Charles Dickens, of what the times were like and where we can improve our societies from that, from literature. And it's a good way to get across a positive message, and to show us and mirror to ourselves. As I had an English teacher that used to tell me that that's what literature does. It shows it, mirrors it, points back to us what we are, tells us who we are, and shows us what kind of people we can be as well. So thank you so much for joining us today. And it was really pleasant talking with you. And I love your work. It's beautiful, excellent work.
Thank you for this big opportunity. Thank you very much.
So I'd love for anybody that watched today's program to take a look at the work that she has to offer. That's magnificent. So take a look and just, find a book and pick it up and give it a read, and tell us what you think of the program today on Facebook or YouTube or wherever you may be viewing. Subscribe, like, share, and comment. We would love to hear from you. If you would like to donate, anybody out there can donate through our PayPal at paypal.me/nyparrot. That's paypal.me/nyparrot. If you'd like to donate any money, anything to keep this program alive and going. And if you want to be a guest on the program, you can see at the bottom there, it's running at the end of the thing. It's join us as a guest writer. Contact us, Literary Corner at NewYorkParrot.com. Send a paragraph bio, a headshot, and a couple of samples of your work, so I can kind of get an idea of who you are as a writer. And I'd love to read your work. And again, paypal.me/nyparrot. We want to keep this as free of charge and as great as an experience as we can for our authors and viewers. So please feel free to donate. Anyone out there can donate whatever they feel comfortable with to support the arts and our program. Thanks for watching, everybody, today. Go back and watch it again if you liked what you heard. It was a wonderful expression and experience with Michela Zanarella. And get to writing. Have an excellent day.
Seduced by Jill Sharon Kimmelman.
Do you know that there is a publishing company that wants to make life easier for you as a writer? This publishing company is called World Inkers Printing and Publishing. We publish in all different languages, and we're looking for writers of all genres, all formats. We're looking for scholars, ghostwriters, playwrights, poets, short fiction, novelists, you name it. We're looking for anybody who is interested in writing and the craft of writing to be in touch with us. You can reach us at info.worldinkers@gmail.com. With World Inkers Printing and Publishing, you do not require